Okay, so we've got some listener questions and some interesting stuff popping up online about this weird fog down in Florida. Yeah, a lot of folks are talking about it. Smells strange. People saying it tastes funny, and a bunch of people saying they're getting sick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like something out of a movie, right? So let's deep dive into this
Okay.
and figure out what's really going on. Is this just like normal fog gone wild, or is there something more to it?
Well, fog itself is fascinating, right? It's not just like hanging out up there.
Right.
It actually interacts with the environment around it. It kind of acts like a sponge, so it can pick up all kinds of stuff that's floating around, like pollutants or even smells.
Okay, so like I saw this TikTok video where people were mentioning like a sewage smell.
Yeah,
So you're saying like that could get all magnified by the fog?
exactly. It's kind of like, think about if you spilled a little bit of perfume in a big room.
Yeah.
You might get a little whiff of it. But if you sprayed that same perfume in a small bathroom full of steam, whoa, the smell is way stronger, right?
Sure.
So fog is similar. It concentrates those smells. And if it's something yucky like sewage, well, it's going to be a lot more noticeable.
Gotcha. But what about some of these reports of a chemical smell?
Yeah,
Could that just be the same thing, like regular smells getting intensified?
it definitely could be. Professor Hussar, he does research for NASA at Washington University. He explains that fog droplets, they actually scavenge stuff from the air,
Ugh.
like pollutants,
Ah.
Things like sulfur and nitrogen oxides, those are pretty common from factories and cars.
Right, and Florida has a lot of both of those.
Yeah, exactly. Think about Tampa Bay. It's a pretty industrial area. There's definitely sulfur dioxide and other stuff around there.
Oh, so this fog could be making those smells way more obvious.
Exactly. And those pollutants, that sulfur and nitrogen oxides, they can do more than just smell bad.
Oh, yeah. What else?
Well, they can really irritate your lungs, especially when they're concentrated. Like sulfur dioxide can make your nose and throat burn, and nitrogen oxides can make you cough and, have trouble breathing.
Right, and that's exactly what some people are reporting.
Yeah, it all kind of lines up, especially since the fog can make those effects even worse.
It's kind of creepy to think about,
Mhm.
Fog always seems so harmless, but it could actually be making people sick.
It is kind of a reminder that our environment can have a big impact on us,
Right.
especially for people who are already vulnerable.
Right, like people with asthma.
Yeah, there are a lot of people with asthma in Florida, and this kind of thing could really affect them.
Makes you think. But some people online are saying this fog is something way more sinister, like a chemical weapon or a government experiment.
I get why people would think that, when something weird happens, we want to know why.
For sure.
And sometimes the simplest answer isn't the most exciting,
Right.
but it's important to remember that just because two things happen around the same time doesn't mean one caused the other.
True. But things like Operation Sea Spray, where the government sprayed bacteria into the air,
Right.
it does make you wonder.
It definitely shows what's possible,
Yeah,
but it doesn't automatically mean that's what's going on in Florida right now,
that's fair.
We need to consider everything and think critically, especially with all the stuff flying around online.
Yeah, misinformation spreads fast.
Yeah.
So while this weird fog might make people jump to conclusions, there could be more everyday explanations too, right? Especially since it's winter.
Absolutely. It's cold and flu season, right? And those viruses can cause all those same symptoms, the coughing, the sore throats, the difficulty breathing.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So it could be that some people are just getting sick and the fog might be making their symptoms worse, or even just making them more aware of how bad they feel because the smells and stuff.
Okay, so to sum up, the fog itself might not be dangerous, but it can make existing pollutants and smells way worse, which isn't great in places with lots of industries like Florida. And that can lead to breathing problems, especially for people with asthma. Plus, we can't forget about all the winter viruses going around.
Exactly. It's a combination of things. And here's something else to think about. Climate change might be affecting the weather, right?
Yeah.
So could we see more of these intense fog events in the future? And how would that affect air quality and, public health? Something to consider.
Definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
That wraps up this deep dive, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.